Good morning. Good morning to all of you here and those of you on Zoom. Have you heard of the book and the Netflix program called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat by Samin Nosrat? She identifies these 4 elements as the essentials of good cooking. She says, quote, "Salt, fat, acid, and heat are the 4 elements that guide basic decision-making in every single dish, no matter what. The rest is a combination of cultural, seasonal, and technical details." In the same manner, I wonder, what would you consider to be the 4 essential elements of faith growth? For example, my 4 words are story, relationship, community, reflection. I'd put it to you this way: the stories of the Bible, as they connect to my life stories, both the big ones and the little ones, draw me deeper into faith. Rubbing shoulders and breaking bread with the community draws me deeper into relationship with God and with others, like you. And then reflection and prayer draw me deeper into my daily practice of faith. That's me. Those are my words. What about you? If you could name the 4 essential elements of faith growth, what would the 4 words be? I really want you to cook on this, pun, and answer the question. So I've created a page on our website called Essential Elements, and I want you to go there and drop in your 4 words. And there's a little reward for doing so, both for you and for the parish. Information about that is in the bulletin. If you received yesterday's weekly email that comes out, you got the link there as well. If you're sitting there wondering, well, okay, Leif, what does this really have to do with Ascension and why we're here at Mass today? Good question. Let me answer it this way. At our staff meeting last Wednesday, as we always do each week, we were reflecting on the gospel reading of this Sunday, and J.D. Durant said, Ascension represents the passing of the baton. It marks the point at which the disciples must take up the mission begun by Jesus, with the help of the Holy Spirit, of course. And that's what we celebrate next Sunday, Pentecost. The arrival of the Holy Spirit like a rush of wind, like tongues of fire to strengthen and inspire the disciples and us to carry on that mission. Passing it on, that's what it's all about. And I would contend that you can't pass it on if you don't know the essentials. Samin Nosrat teaches us to cook via her 4 essentials: salt, fat, acid, and heat. Another chef would surely teach us differently, but if a good teacher, she or he would lay in front of us the 4 or 5 or 3 essentials in her mind. Passing it on, that's what it's all about. And that's what's clear in our readings today. Did you catch the introduction that Mary Lynn gave and that I gave at the beginning, before the reading began? She said, a reading from the beginning of the Acts of the Apostles. And I said, a reading from the very end of the Gospel of Mark. And the 2 collide, and what happens there is both authors, the author of Acts, which by the way is attributed to Luke, and the author of Mark, attempt to capture the very last words that Jesus spoke on earth. The text is not exact, but the message is the same. From Acts, you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses to the ends of the earth. From Mark, go into the whole world and proclaim the gospel to every creature. Essentially, go out to the world, spread the good news. Those are the last words that Jesus spoke on earth. That's the message he leaves us. That's our call. But you know, you can't pass on what you don't know in your head, and you can't pass on what you don't believe in your heart. And so to that end, my challenge to you today, and to me, challenge to me as well, for the summer months, is I want to invite you into what I'm calling the Spiritual Growth Challenge. I challenge each one of us to take intentional steps to grow in faith, to nurture your spirituality this summer, over and above coming to Mass on Sunday. Can you spend 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour each week on faith growth and learning? And I've got some options for you that I've posted on our website. In addition to the essential elements page, which, like I said, I really want you to do that, but it will only take a couple of minutes for you to reflect on and come up with your 4 words. I've posted currently three separate categories of faith growth, and in each category is a set of components, little, not to sound too schooly, but little lesson plans for you to engage in, to sink your brain and your heart into. In fact, don't think of them as lesson plans. Think of each category as like a playlist that you think today, oh, this is the playlist I want to listen to warm my heart. This is the playlist of faith learning that I want to engage in this week. Videos, readings, reflections, simple activities, all designed to enhance your personal faith journey. Let me briefly describe the 3 that I posted. There are more coming. Playlist number 1, titled Your Personal Journey in Faith. And it explores 7 components, 7 essential aspects of the Catholic Christian faith. Really good material. You can sink your teeth into it. Take it as far and as deep as you want. 7 components there. Playlist number 2 is titled Christian Practices, and it explores the practices of the Christian way of life and connects them to the signs of our times, the struggles, joys, needs, hungers of people and communities today, equipping us with the skills to live that practice in daily life. Currently 4 components with more to come on that playlist. The 3rd playlist is titled Finding God's Purpose, and we describe it this way. Sometimes we discover our calling through experiences of joy and celebration, other times through difficulty, challenge, or loss. Along the way, to be sure, we discover a loving, merciful, and gracious God who wants to accompany us on our life's journey. So that playlist is kind of exploring that question, okay, God, what are you calling me into today? 8 components there. More playlists coming. And I want to say to you, from me to you, yes, Currently, the playlists are in English, but if you would like to have a playlist in your language, come talk to me. We can work that out. We can curate the right material and make it available. Yes, currently the playlists are on our website, so it's a digital experience. But if you need hard copy, come talk to me. We have a lovely printer in the office, and we can print like you wouldn't believe. Here's your incentive. Oh, wait, let me back that up. I know that because you're sitting here today on a beautiful Sunday morning, internally you have the incentive. You want to grow in faith, and so I know you're going to do this to some degree or another. But here's some external incentive that you might be interested in. As I said, each playlist has a series of components, and for each component that you complete, you will get a reward, and so will the parish. You will receive a badge, a digital badge that congratulates you on your completion. Take you back to your Girl Scout days or Cub Scout days. So collect as many badges as you can, and each time you get a badge, you say, yay! But here's the kicker. Thanks to the generosity of a couple donors, the parish will receive $10 for every component completed and every badge extended. And that money will go to support our faith formation efforts for our youngsters. Baptism prep, children's liturgy of the word, sacramental preparation for First Communion and First Reconciliation, and youth ministry. In a couple weeks, probably 2 Sundays from now, I'll do a full orientation session. I'll take you to the website. I'll give you a little tour, walk you around, and you can get a better feel for all of this. In the meantime, I do want you to find your way to the Essential Elements page and tell us your 4 essential elements for faith growth. And yes, you will get a badge when you do that. And the parish will get the $10 when you do that. So let me just conclude by saying, the feast we celebrate today, the Ascension of the Lord, is all about passing on the baton from Jesus to the disciples, from the disciples to us, and from us to the next generation. As you embrace this spiritual growth challenge this summer, you will equip yourself with the capacity to heed the very last words that Jesus spoke on earth. Go into the whole world, proclaim the gospel. And collectively, our faith-forming efforts this summer will empower our faith-forming efforts with youngsters next year. It's a win-win-win.